Tonight,
I'm calling it a petri dish.
families are demanding help. They want answers.
Our families are dying. With this, we don't know what to do.
Their loved ones still living in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak.
And Mr. Pence, please come and visit us right here.
But the man in charge of the coronavirus outbreak will not be visiting the care center. We'll take you live to the vice president's Washington state visit and where he went instead.
We're learning the identity of a person who died from the coronavirus, what we know about where he may have contracted it.
Snohomish County declares a state of emergency. We'll outline the biggest changes to county and city buildings.
And the Seattle lunch rush comes to a screeching halt, how people are dealing with telecommuting instead of going to work.
And this news just into the newsroom. A CenturyLink field worker tested positive for coronavirus. Good evening, I'm Steve Rabel.
And I'm Monique Mingloven. Now, the person worked at a Seattle Dragons game. That was on February 22nd and has not been back to CenturyLink Field since. Now, there were about 20,000 fans at the game at the time, but King County says the worker was not showing symptoms at that point, and the health department says the risk to the public is low. Now, we will keep asking for more information on this. And today we learned that 11 people have now died from the virus in Washington. There are 51 cases in King County, 18 in Snohomish County, 1 case now in Grant County.
KIRO 7's Eastside reporter Allison Grandy starts off our team coverage tonight. And Allison, you spoke to families today, emotional conversations. Those families still searching for some help and answers for their loved ones.
Steve, and those patients are still dying. Just in the last 36 hours, 2 more patients from the Life Care Center have died. And so now the loved ones, the people who are still here, feel not enough is being done to keep their loved ones safe. A medical team did arrive from the feds here today, but still no one here has been tested for coronavirus.
Help us get solutions for what to do with the people right now here in this, I'm calling it a petri dish.
Frustrated family members gathered outside Life Care Center of Kirkland. 8 of the 11 coronavirus deaths are linked to the nursing home.
We're continually told that our loved ones are safe in this establishment. I want Mike Pence to come and sit with my father-in-law for an hour in this facility, if it's that safe.
They say it's been 24 hours since they were promised, and still no one has been tested for coronavirus inside the building.
My beautiful mother passed away yesterday morning at 6 a.m.
Mike Wetherill's mother, Louise, was 85. He said she'd been coughing for weeks. Earlier this week, he wanted her taken to Evergreen Hospital to be tested.
Yeah, I told the nurse I wanted her to go to the ER, but she said she couldn't because there was no fever. The next day, later, early Wednesday morning, apparently she came down with a fever real fast, and they transported her to Evergreen Hospital about 4 a.m., and by 6 a.m. she had passed away. No family members were present. I was still asleep.
These are the stories that have them devastated and demanding help. Elaine Herrick's mom died today.
My mother, I got a phone call this morning that she passed at 3:30 in the morning.
Then 7 hours later, she got another call.
Unfortunately, she told me that she's just updating me that my mother's fine. She doesn't have any symptoms. Her temperature's good. And she just is going ahead to update me. She'll update me every day. And I said, and what is your name? And she told me her name. And I said, that's bull. My mother died at 3:30 this morning. And she was shocked and regretful.
Another person is getting ready to be transported here at the care center. Now, of those women who died in the last 36 hours, both of their children want them tested for coronavirus. Mike said he thinks that they did test his mom. He's waiting for the results. And Elaine said she's arguing whether or not they do that, whether they test someone after they have died. She wants to know for sure whether or not her mother contracted coronavirus here. Live in Kirkland, Allison Grandy, KIRO 7 News.
Having to deal with so much frustration and grief at the same time. And speaking of that, we are learning the identity of one of the coronavirus victims. Family of Eric Zanassi tells us he visited his mother at the Kirkland Life Center several times in the past few weeks, and they say he became sick last week. He died this morning. We are learning more about Zanassi and spoke to some of his neighbors. We will have that story tonight at 6 o'clock.
Vice President Mike Pence is leading the national effort to fight the coronavirus. He arrived in Washington just over an hour ago at Joint Base Lewis McChord, and instead of shaking hands with the governor, they bumped elbows. It is a greeting now used to reduce the spread of germs. KRO 7's Essex Porter is live at Camp Murray in Pierce County, where Pence is expected to speak in just a few minutes. Essex?
And, you know, this all started out as a rather rocky relationship between the vice president and the governor, with Governor Inslee criticizing the vice president's lack of a science background. But things have changed, and here's a symbol of that change as they begin to set us all up for what we will hear from the vice president in a second. But you see the abundance of personal protective gear here. That's a symbol of what will be coming from the federal government to Washington state. And today the governor continues to ask everyone's help to prevent spreading the coronavirus. The yearly Emerald City Comic Convention will go on as scheduled this weekend, despite Governor Inslee asking organizers of all large events to consider postponing them to avoid spreading the coronavirus. Since those folks don't seem to be taking your advice, are you ready to order such large events canceled?
Not at this moment, but it is within our authority to do so. And we will make that decision when we decide that the benefits to the state of reducing that social contact merit the dislocation and economic dislocation and personal freedom of people.
Officials say more help is now on the way for the patients at the Life Care Center in Kirkland. 28 doctors, nurses, and nurse practitioners from the CDC are arriving to assist the staff. And the governor says financial help is on the way for first responders now quarantined because of contact with coronavirus patients.
Our protection will include coverage for medical testing, treatment expenses, and time loss payments for healthcare workers and first responders who cannot work if they are sick or quarantined because of the COVID-19 virus.
An emergency order from the insurance commissioner requires insurance companies to now pay in full for coronavirus tests required by doctors. No copays or deductibles. Officials say they are rapidly ramping up the number of tests that can be done every day, but not everyone who might have flu-like symptoms really needs to be tested.
We currently do not have medications to treat COVID-19 infection. So whether or not you test positive or negative, the management, your provider's medical management will be the same.
Now, just a couple of minutes ago, we saw Vice President Pence in with congressional leaders and the governor. He said that President Trump will sign an $8.3 billion package of coronavirus aid at the White House tomorrow. We're waiting to hear from Vice President Pence tonight and hoping he'll tell us how much of that money will be coming to Washington state. Our coverage continues here. For now, reporting live at Camp Murray, Essex Porter, KRO 7 News.
And we will certainly get back to you live, Essex, just as soon as the vice president and governor have some remarks after their meeting. Now, the vice president's visit comes as an emergency declaration takes effect for Snohomish County. KRO 7's North Sound reporter Ryan Sims is live now in Everett. And Ryan, coronavirus is already causing some big changes to county and city buildings there.
And there are changes that could last far beyond the coronavirus. Now, as you see, there are plenty of precaution signs right now up around all these county buildings and city buildings. But soon, with this emergency declaration, anytime someone comes inside one of these buildings, right off to the side of the entryway, there will be sanitation stations, again, to keep the coronavirus at bay from spreading even more here.
You can't talk about coronavirus without taking a hard look at Snohomish County. Right now, at least a dozen people have been sickened by coronavirus here, and one person has died.
Time for a few questions.
Today's emergency declaration will hopefully give the county some much-needed muscle to fight coronavirus.
Essentially, I can take actions and just move things a lot quicker without having to go through the usual bureaucracy.
Going forward, we're told resources will be freed up a lot more easily. So if health workers need things like medicine or even masks, they'll be able to get those things incredibly fast. At today's news conference, it was revealed that all non-essential county workers are being encouraged to work from home.
We're just trying to make a recommendation and make people aware, have them think about it, weigh the risks and benefits for themselves.
And then there are the schools here in Snohomish County. Right now, there aren't any forced closures yet, but with today's emergency declaration, school districts will now have plans ready if schools are forced to shut down.
We're going to be based on science, we're going to be based on facts, and judge our decisions based on those things.
Going forward, health workers are also recommending the cancellation of county gatherings of more than 50 people, meaning this gathering about something so serious could be the last county meeting in quite a long time.
And as for closures here in the North Sound, just this morning, the city of Everett shut down the city's senior center, saying it was just too risky to keep open. We're live in Everett tonight. Ryan Sims, Cairo 7 News.
And thanks. As we await again Vice President Pence and Governor Inslee to talk about the coronavirus outbreak in our state, you might have more questions about coronavirus. A Washington call center can answer those, including how it spreads, what to do if you have symptoms. The number there on your screen. Call 1-800-525-0127.